Hello, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into something that makes us who we are, our habits. We're going to pull back the curtain on the science that's running in the background of your life, and I'll give you a simple but really powerful framework so you can finally take control. We're talking about building the good habits and, yes, breaking the bad ones for good.
So tell me if this sounds familiar. You decide, that's it. Starting tomorrow, I am going to the gym every single morning. But then tomorrow comes and somehow it just doesn't happen. Or maybe you swear you're going to cut back on sugar, but an hour later you find yourself almost like a zombie staring into the snack cabinet. If you're nodding right now, trust me, you are not alone. And here it is, maybe the most important thing you'll hear today. This is not a willpower problem. You're not lazy. You're not broken. The real issue is that you've been trying to win a game without knowing any of the rules. You're not fighting some deep character flaw. You're actually up against your brain's own built-in energy-saving mode. But once you understand that system, you can start working with your brain, not against it.
So, how does this system actually work? Well, the key is a really simple three-part neurological shortcut. Scientists call it the habit loop. You can think of it as this invisible operating system that's running like a huge chunk of your day without you even realizing it. See, our brains are at their core just incredibly efficient. They are constantly on the lookout for ways to save energy and mental effort. And the way they do this is by bundling sequences of actions into automatic routines. I mean, you don't have to consciously think through every little step of brushing your teeth, right? Or driving to work. That is the habit loop right there in action. It's this powerful shortcut that lets your conscious mind just, chill out for a bit.
And here's the thing. Every single habit, whether it's good for you or bad for you, follows this exact same three-step pattern. First up, you have the cue. That's the trigger that basically tells your brain, hey, time to go on autopilot. It could be a time of day, a place you're in, or even an emotion. Then comes the routine, which is the actual behavior. And finally, you get a reward. That's the little prize, the hit of satisfaction that tells your brain, whoa, that was good. Let's remember this loop for next time. Okay, so that's the loop. How in the world do we hijack it for our own benefit? This is where things get really, really powerful. You don't need some super complicated program. It all comes down to one simple, elegant principle that governs all habit change. It's called the golden rule. This is the secret sauce, right here. You don't try to fight the cue, and you don't try to ignore that craving for a reward. No, you keep the beginning and the end of the loop exactly the same. The only thing you change is the routine that's sandwiched in the middle. You're not trying to erase the habit. You are consciously redesigning it. All right, theory is great, but let's make this super practical. We are going to walk through a simple 4-step action plan to put this golden rule to work. And we'll use a classic example, that 3 p.m. urge for a sugary snack when you're at work. First things first, you have to get crystal clear on the routine you want to change. It's not enough to say, I want to stop snacking. You need to be specific. For example, around 3 p.m., I get up from my desk, walk to the kitchen, and eat a cookie. You can't change a vague habit, so being ultra-specific is absolutely step one. Okay, now for the fun part, the diagnostic step. To change the routine, you have to figure out what reward your brain is really after. So you have to experiment. When that urge for a cookie hits, try a different routine for a few days. On day 1, maybe you eat an apple instead. Does the craving go away? If so, maybe it really was about hunger. Day 2, just get up and take a quick walk. Day 3, go find a coworker to chat with for a few minutes. By testing these different options, you can zero in on the real reward. Is it the sugar? Is it a distraction from boredom? Or is it just a need for a little social contact? Once you know the reward you're chasing, it's time to become a detective and find the cue. So for a few days, whenever that urge hits, you need to stop and immediately jot down the answers to these 5 questions. Where am I? What time is it? How am I feeling right now? Who else is around me? And what did I just do? I promise, after just a few times, a clear pattern is going to pop right out. You realize the cue is something specific, like, oh, it's 3:15 and I'm feeling bored and restless. Finally, you build your plan. You have all the pieces of the puzzle now. You've got the cue, you know the reward you're really craving, and you've found a new routine that delivers that reward. You just plug them into this simple but incredibly powerful formula. Actually writing down, when this cue happens, I will do this new routine. It turns a vague wish into a concrete instruction for your brain to follow.
So, putting it all together, your finished plan could look something like this. When it's 3 p.m. and I feel bored, I will get it from my desk and walk around for 5 minutes. You see how this works, right? It acknowledges the cue, the time and the feeling of boredom, and it delivers the real reward, which was a mental break, but it replaces the unhealthy routine with a much better one. It's simple, it's clear, and it's totally actionable.
All right, you have the science. You have the 4-step framework. But how do you make sure this new habit actually sticks? This last part is all about having the right mindset for success. So if you remember anything from this, let it be this. Start with one. Just one single habit. Please don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. It's a recipe for failure. Pick one small, manageable thing and apply this process. And then be patient with yourself. Remember, you are literally carving a new neural pathway in your brain. That takes time and it takes repetition. So give yourself some grace. Success with one tiny habit is what builds the momentum you need for the next one.
And hey, if this whole framework sparked your curiosity and you want to go way deeper, these ideas are all based on the incredible work of Charles Duhigg in his book, The Power of Habit. For a much deeper dive into the science and some amazing stories, I honestly can't recommend it enough.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you have the tools, now that you can look at your own programming, what's the very first habit you're going to choose to redesign? Thanks so much for joining us on The Explainer.